Bandy, and this is my channel, Bandy's Books. Today we're going to do a special edition book haul. In the end of October, like on Halloween weekend, I went to San Diego to visit my family, and I don't know if you know, but San Diego has so many amazing bookshops and little free libraries. It really is an awesome reading community. So my mom, who is an avid reader and who also has her own little free library, which you can find at LFL Book Adventures. You should see her screen name somewhere here on Instagram. She took me on a book tour around San Diego to a couple of her favorite bookshops and her favorite little free libraries. And as you can see, I brought home a lot of books. I know I'm doing a no by November, so just so you know, I'm posting this video in mid-November, but I did buy all of this at the end of October on the weekend of like Halloween, over the course of 3 days. So we're gonna go through the books stack by stack. I'm just gonna kind of quickly show you what I got. I'm not gonna go into great detail because with this many books, obviously if I went into great detail, we would be here for like 27 hours. So I'm just gonna give you a quick show of which books I got where, and in between showing you the books that I got in each store, you'll see a little clip of the stores that I got them from, or in the case of the little free libraries, you'll see some stuff of the little free libraries. I'm gonna be including, you know, the store name, address, and phone number for the stores, and for the little free libraries, if I have the coordinates for them on the registration number for them, I'll post it as well. So that way, if you take your own trip to San Diego and you want to follow in my footsteps and check out some of these amazing places, then you certainly can on your own. So without further ado, let's hit our first stop. Stop number 1 in the book tour of San Diego was Helens Bookmark, and that is in Escondido, California. That is like the northeast part of San Diego County, and this bookshop is a primarily used bookstore. I, in the past, have been a little bit skeptical about bookstores because a lot of the ones that I've been to have been kind of like where you get the serialized romance that your grandmother used to read, and not much else. But this bookstore, this used bookstore, is amazing. They have hallway after hallway of books. They do have the serialized romances if that's the kind of thing that you want, but they also have a lot of really up-to-date current reads. And I was so stoked to find they had a ton of beautiful hardback copies. So let me just quickly go over the books that I got from Helens Bookmark. I got Shadow of the Night by Deborah Harkness. I read the other 2 books in this series, so I was stoked to find number 3, To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. I've been hearing good things about this, and this cover is absolutely gorgeous. And I was extra excited to find out that this was a signed edition. Ocean Prey by John Sanford. This is another one that's been popping up a fair bit. Nancy Boys by Neil Gaiman. I've read most of Neil Gaiman's books, but I have yet to have read this one, so I picked that up. The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. This has also been popping up everywhere recently. I hear that it's very relevant to some of the political things that are going on today. And Welcome to Night Vale. This is based on a podcast, I guess, and it was so popular that it was turned into a book. Additionally, that's stack 1. I also got The Other Boleyn Girl. Somehow I have not read this one yet, by Philippa Gregory. I got The Stationery Shop by Marjan Kamali. I got Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. The Husband's Secret by Leanne Moriarty. Surprisingly, I have never read anything by Leanne Moriarty. I have a couple of her books throughout my stacks here, so this will be one of the first ones I'll read of hers. And Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. I've been seeing this everywhere lately, and I've heard really good things about it, so I'm excited. And finally, Bonita Avenue by Peter Buwalda. This one I picked up just because the cover looks so interesting. This bright, brilliant colored front, and then they've got this beautiful patterning on the back. It just looked really cool, and then the description sounded pretty interesting. So that was my find from Helens Bookmark. Again, Escondido, portion of San Diego. If you're in San Diego and you have a car and you're able to drive up to North County area, this is the place to go. I think in total, all of these books, these beautiful hardcover books, I think I spent like $90 in total. Stop number 2 was a bookstore called Verbatim, and Verbatim Books is in the north part of San Diego. This is going to probably be like a closer area for tourists. It's kind of central to like the downtown area. It's a little bit like east of downtown, so not super far if you're taking an Uber or public transport. It is a super cool bookstore. There is beautiful murals around the outside of the bookstore. The interior of the bookstore is really big, and the decor is really, really spectacular. There's lots of cool murals. They've got this insane bookshelf in the back where they've used books to spell out the name Verbatim Books. You'll see it in the video when it pops up here in just a second. I got a small stack of books to show. I actually got double this, but I'm going to be using some of the other books that I got for another video. In that store, I let my mom pick out 5 books for me where I couldn't give her any direction. So I'll be saving those 5 books to show in another video. But for the purposes of this video, here's the handful of books that I picked up from there. I picked up The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. I have actually heard that this is like a life-changing relationship book. I'm not super big on self-help, but I've been wanting to read this one for a long time, and it was there on sale. I got Wonder by R.J. Palacio. I've heard that this is a really sweet book and that it features a child with some disabilities and some facial deformities. I think it's super important to have inclusive writing, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. The Mountains Sing by Nguyen Phan K Mai. The Mountains Sing, this cover is just so beautiful. I was immediately drawn to it. It is about Vietnam, like post-Vietnam War, so it sounds really interesting. Trust Exercises by Suzanne Choi. Again, a really bright, vibrant color. Description sounded super interesting. And a book that I'm so excited about. I got The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. If you're unfamiliar with this, this is the follow-up to Handmaid's Tale. I've been dying to read this, and I happened to find this copy in the bookstore, so I'm stoked about that. Stop number 3 on my book tour of San Diego is probably my favorite book stop in San Diego so far. The bookstore that I visited was called Libélula Books, and Libélula means dragonfly in Spanish. This bookstore is in the Chicano Park area of Barrio Logan. If you're not familiar with the San Diego area, Chicano Park is a pretty historic part of San Diego. It is a traditionally Chicano or Mexican neighborhood, and there was a lot of political activism in this particular community during the 70s. There was a lot of work towards migrant worker rights, and the park there that's like right next door to this bookstore is painted in these beautiful murals. Many of them are full of cultural symbols. Some of them are full of like political messaging, but it's this gem in the center of this community, and it has so much history. And for a long time, I felt like people didn't really visit it as much as it deserved. So generally, this whole area is really cool to check out. If you're gonna head over, check out the bookstore, walk over to the park. There's a couple really great coffee shops across the street as well. I'm gonna link actually social media tags for both the bookstore, Libélula. You'll see their Instagram handle right here. And then this coffee shop that's right across the street called Storymakers. I'm also gonna link their Instagram handle right here as well. I think if you want a really great morning, walk over to the park, check out the murals, come over, grab a coffee, sit at Storymakers, watch the traffic pass, chat with some people in the neighborhood, and then stop into Libélula and pick up some awesome books. So, now that I've planned out your whole day for you, what I really love about Libélula is that it's a really cool bookstore. The aesthetic of it is gorgeous. You'll see in a minute when the video pops up. But also, the 2 ladies that own it are so sweet. Both of them are really friendly, really dedicated to their bookstore and their community. Happy to sit and chat with you about recommendations of books, travels, all sorts of different things. And I honestly, my mom, myself, and my boyfriend spent like a good hour and a half just hanging out at the bookstore, walking around, looking at things, talking to people, and you feel very welcome. It felt like almost like going home. Just you feel like the community really is like so warm, and the people running the store are so welcoming that you almost don't want to leave. I was also really surprised. Jessie, one of the owners, gifted me this beautiful handmade leather bookmark. Her friend makes them, and it shows part of Barrio Logan and the name of the company. Part of the bookstore and the name of the company. And I thought that was really sweet. It was my first time at the store, and she didn't have to give me anything. So I thought that was really nice of her. And she also gifted my mom, which was a beautiful thing. She gave my mom a 4-part book of The Giver by Lewis Lowry, which is one of my mom's favorite books, and she had posted about it on her social media, and the owner, Jessie, happened to see it and realized that my mom really liked it, and she gifted her this really special copy. And I know that really meant a lot to my mom. It was a very sweet thing for her to do. It was an expensive book, so for her to give her something like that was really a kind thing. And I, like I said, was just really, really impressed by both of the ladies that owned the store and the store itself. So now that I'm done waxing poetic about this whole store, let's talk about the books that I picked up. This was probably my favorite of the book hauls. I got All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson, and this cover I love so much. It's so pretty. Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner. I've been dying to read this one. This is called Latinx by Paula Ramos, and it says En busca de las voces que redefinan la identidad latina. So that means in search of the voices to redefine the Latina identity. So I think this is telling stories from different perspectives throughout the Latinx demographic. Etymology icon. This is about different words and their etymology in the English language. The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. I have been meaning to read this for quite a while. I actually tried to listen to it on audiobook, and it was a little too hard to concentrate, so I figured I'd get a actual copy of it. And then 2666, Roberto Bolaño. Jessie actually recommended this to me. She said that it was highly recommended to her by a customer. They told her that it was essential to get it. After reading up on it a little bit, I found out that it has won a whole bunch of awards, and that it actually covers the Famicide on the border of Mexico and the United States. This was another recommendation from Jessie. I have never really read too many, what do I want to call these, like comic book style, like graphic novels. Usually I read like just straight up books, and she suggested this as a good place to start. It is called La Guerra de Alan, and it's by Emmanuel Guibert. La Guerra de Alan means the War of Alan, and this is about a soldier in World War II, and he's a photographer, and just kind of his journey. It is, like I said, kind of more like a comic book style, so you got lots of cool drawings, everything's black and white. I'm really looking forward to giving this a try. This is very new for me. This is not my typical type of book, but this whole year is about expanding my reading, so I'm looking forward to trying this out. I got Cazadora, which is the second book in a series. I was really just drawn by the beautiful cover, and unfortunately I didn't realize that this was the second book in the story. Lobizona is the first book, which I have not read yet, so I'll have to, probably in December, give myself a break on the no-buy and buy the first one so I can read this one. And another book I've been really looking forward to, Firekeeper's Daughter. How gorgeous this book is. I'm really excited about this one as well. Alright, so next up is books that I found in little free libraries. There was multiple libraries. I think we went to like 6 or 7 of them. So I'm going to do my best to tag each one of them. For sure, the numbers of the little free libraries, the registration numbers, will be in the description if you want to check them out. And let me know if you're a fan of little free libraries. Do you have one in your community? Do you go and visit them? Are you obsessed with them like I am? I am a huge fan, so I want to hear all about them. Tell me in the comments. And if you're interested in little free libraries, also look up here. There should be a tag right about here somewhere, and that is going to be a little free library haul that I did here in the Henderson, Nevada / Las Vegas area earlier in October. That'll give you kind of an idea of some of the little free libraries I've been checking out here at home. All right, so on to the little free libraries in San Diego. We found Blood, Bones, and Butter, The Inadvertent Education of a Reluctant Chef by Gabrielle Hamilton. My mom picked this out. I'm a chef for a living, and she thought I might find this interesting. It sounds pretty cool. We got The Bake Shop by Amy Clipston. This is about an Amish marketplace. Sounds pretty interesting. Corelli's Mandolin by Louis de Bernier. Sorry for my poor French. History on Trial by Deborah Lipstadt. Another Leanne Moriarty, Big Little Lies. I know this one's super popular. I haven't read it. I'm looking forward to it. Galileo's Daughter by Dava Sobel. This sounded really interesting. I love a good historical fiction. The Drunken Botanist by Amy Stewart. This sounded really interesting as well. It has all sorts of interesting info on different components of drinks. Cursed by Frank Miller, illustrations by Frank Miller, written by Thomas Wheeler. This is the start of a series. I have not read it. I'm not familiar with it. I am looking forward to it. And my favorite little free library find. This came from Can Write Way's little library. I'll be tagging them for sure. This beautiful copy of Treasure Island. It's a gorgeous hardcover. It's got sprayed edges. It's in beautiful condition. No rips or tears or anything like that. I actually surprisingly have not read this book, and I'm just like in awe of this copy that I found. Okay, and the last stack of books that I have to discuss came from my mom. As I've mentioned, my mom, whose Instagram handle will be right here somewhere, has her own little free library. She stocks it regularly, switches out the books regularly, and because she's so into it, she has almost a whole room full of books at her house. We have like what used to be an office and has now literally turned into a library / book storage room. She has hundreds of books in there, waiting to be put into her little free library, and that she also distributes to other little free libraries throughout town. She had a stack of books that she had set aside for me that she thought I might find interesting. So here are the books that my mama sent home with me. She sent home Half Broke Horses by Jeanette Walls. It's this one here. The Little Paris Bookshop by Nina George. The Art of Racing in the Rain by Garth Stein. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I've been hearing about this a lot. I haven't had a chance to read it, and so she saved me the copy. And then Anne Perry and the Murder of the Century by Peter Graham. She told me that this was super creepy and horrific. I love a good true crime. And Glass Castles, which I believe goes with the Broke Horses there, also by Jeanette Wells. And then handful more. This is a really short little novella. It is Night by Elie Wiesel. It's a winner of the Nobel Peace Prize, so I'm looking forward to this a lot. Living in a Foreign Language, which is by Michael Tucker. I'm looking forward to this as well. I travel a lot, so my mom usually saves me travel and food books. John Henry Days by Colston Whitehead. I have not yet read anything by Colston Whitehead, so my mom was like, oh, you have to take this. He's really good. I have The White by Deborah Larson. I feel like this cover is so creepy. The Perfect Nanny by Leila Soleimani. The Midnight Queen, which is by Sylvia Izzo Hunter. My mom hasn't read this one, and she wasn't sure if it was any good or not, but she liked the cover, and she thought it sounded like something I would like. I do like magic, so I think this might be right up my alley. And then we got All Is Not Forgotten by Wendy Walker. And finally, a book called Costa Alegre by Courtney Mountain. This is a translation. I guess this book is actually originally written in English, but my mom got me a Spanish version because she knows that I do try to read in Spanish to work on my language skills. So I'll be checking this out as well. So that is my San Diego book haul. Like I said, 5 stops, or well, more than 5 stops, but 3 bookstores, a handful of little free libraries, and then my mom's generous donation of books. I think I have more than enough to read for certainly at least the next few months. All right, so those were all my stops in San Diego. I have an ample supply of books. Realistically, this will probably last me 3 or 4 months worth of reading. I usually average between 15 and 20 books per month. I think I brought home 54 books in total from San Diego, and that's not including all the books that I already had at home that need to be read. So I am doing a no-buy November. I'm probably going to extend my no-buy through December because I have so many books. And then going into New Year, I'll assess how many of those books I've knocked off of my list and see, whether I need to extend the no-buy even further. But I'm super excited. Like I said, all of these bookstores, little free libraries, are well worth visiting. All of their information will be in the description. I'll be including their name, their address, and their phone number so that you can go check them out if you're in the San Diego area. They're all little businesses, at least the 3 bookstores. They're small, privately owned businesses. So if you're in San Diego or you're planning to visit San Diego, please give them your business instead of going to like Barnes & Nobles. I have no hate for Barnes & Nobles. I shop there occasionally myself, but these 3 companies are little independently owned bookstores, and all of them are great for various reasons. Definitely worth the checking them out. So hopefully this was interesting for you. I know it was interesting for me, finding all the things that I could find in these different locations. Now I have to figure out where I'm gonna put them all and how to organize them into my bookshelves. So maybe I'll be making a future video on that, how I organize my bookshelves and everything. For now, if you want to see any other book hauls that I have done in the last month or so, look for this link up here. I'll be linking my playlist of book hauls right here. And let me know in the comments, what's the biggest book haul you've ever done? How many books have you brought home? Do you ever go nuts like this and bring way more than you intended? I thought I was gonna bring home like maybe 20 books max, and I way went past that. I think my mom sent me 20 alone. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. It's super helpful for me to know what content is working well for you. I of course want to coordinate and make my viewing experience the most pleasant possible for you. And if you're not already subscribed, please consider hitting subscribe and the notification bell so you're always notified when I post videos. I do post every Tuesday and every Thursday like clockwork. Tuesday is recipes that I have created and designed based on the books that I'm reading. So anytime I read a book and it mentions a food item, I sit down, I create my own recipe inspired by that food item, and then I do a whole cooking demo on it. I talk about the book and the food and whatnot. And on Thursdays, I do book content like this, where I talk about the books I'm hauling, what I'm reading, reviews. I let other people pick out books for me. I do challenges, book social media tags, things like that. So definitely, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. And again, I'm Caitlin Bandy. This is Bandy's Books. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you in the next video.